Hey everybody, it's PartyElite. Welcome you to an early look at Classified France 44. This is an upcoming turn-based tactics game set during World War II that takes you deep behind enemy lines into France in the hopes of drumming up support for a resistance movement against the Nazis. I've been looking forward to this game ever since it was first announced, and thanks to the developers giving me an early access key, I've been able to check it out and now I can showcase it on the channel too. With that said, I've had a chance to play through some of the early parts of the tutorial and make myself familiar with some of the unique ideas that the game has, both on the battlefield and with the strategic layer as well, so I'm really excited to showcase some of that stuff. In the interest of showing it though, I think I'll play through the tutorial once more, and as we get further and further along, there will be some mechanics that I'll be experiencing for the first time as well, and we can see how that plays out together. With that said folks, for the time being I'm thinking of leaving this at one session, but if you'd like to see more Classified France 44, let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. As always, it gives me a quick read on what people are interested in seeing on the channel, and if you'd like to see this game, in further depth, then just say the word and I'll make room for it on the schedule. With that said, let's go ahead and get this party started with a new campaign that'll take us through the tutorial as well, and I'll explain the game's mechanics beyond what the tooltips and stuff do, but I think it's just a good way to make sure I do explain all of the various elements. I'm going to go ahead and keep this at regular difficulty just to make sure we're actually able to make it through things as opposed to dying repeatedly. I'm not sure how tough it gets on higher difficulties, but on that note, I should mention that of course this is an early access build, so you can imagine certain numbers will be changing, certain, issues might arise, so do keep that in mind as we take a look at gameplay. I'm going to go ahead and keep Iron Man off for the very same reasons I mentioned earlier, but it's good to know the option is there because I do like Iron Man plays when I'm just playing through a game for like a Let's Play or something. And apart from that, of course, yes, we are keeping the tutorials on as well. But with all that done, let's go ahead and launch the game and take a look at what we've got with, sure, let's call it Campaign 1.
We should hold tight here till the heat's off.
The Fuhrer's flying monkeys have other plans.
Oh, so much for a warm welcome.
Alright, so of course, a lot of the basics are going to be familiar here. You move around, you have action points to both distribute between movement and shooting, but something that's going to be pretty fresh right off the bat is the fact that stealth is baked into a lot of missions. So, for example, this mission here starts in stealth, so we're able to sneak around, get into position, observe enemy patrols, and make plans accordingly. Once you go loud, but if you're able to stay quiet and actually eliminate a bunch of enemies, you can trigger an ambush, which gives you a bit of an advantage with extra action points, or extra turns rather I should say. It's all good stuff, but again, this is tutorialized, so fairly scripted. Let's see how this plays out.
Enemy! Swell, a target.
Now, naturally, with stealth elements, you're going to have access to stealth attacks using your trusty knife, but you're also going to see things like vision ranges, vision cones, and the sound made by an attack. So there are quite a few elements there. Stealth is a crucial part of the game. It's not just like something that's been tacked on. You are very much, behind enemy lines, and the game treats that as, in my opinion at least, it should. Either way, let's go ahead and move up to here and use our trench knife to get a good stab in. As you can see, the UI tells us very clearly that we're going to cause enough damage to kill this individual. We can also take a look at details of our attack. Sometimes it'll tell us exactly why we are more or less likely to hit, etc., etc. But separately, you can also see when I'm positioned here to kick off this attack, there's this glowing yellow marker that has a little audio icon on it. That tells you how far the sound of this attack will travel. And our other friend over here is just outside of that range, so we're able to get this kill off without alerting this guy over here. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's do it. In we go, and job well done. Good stuff. Over to our other friend, as the game explains to us, our ambush meter, which tells us if we fill this bar up with kills without being noticed, then we can trigger an ambush. As I was describing earlier, that means we'll get an extra turn. There's some benefits to it, of course. Not all missions will have the ambush bar available to us. Some, in fact, won't have stealth at all. Many, though, can actually be completed entirely without going loud, which I'm really excited to explore, actually. Nonetheless, let's keep this ball rolling over here, dive in over here, get the stab in, get the job done, and move on outside where there are quite a few enemies to take care of as well.
Good night, sweetheart.
And you can see with that kill, we've gained another pip in our ambush bar, right? Don't think these guys are going to get up to anything. They're completely unaware of our presence. Okay, sounds good. That's more camera controls, but let's go ahead and move in and get some work done here.
Like a good excuse to make a mess.
So first up, let's sneak up to the bush. Unless the enemy is alerted of our presence and they're actively looking for us, they can't actually see us if we're hiding in a bush. So even if they turn to look at us when we make some noise, they won't see us. So with that said, let's go in for the melee attack up over here. Guaranteed the kill, but here you can see that the yellow glowing area actually does encompass our friend over here. So he's going to hear it, but because we're in the bush, right, as we get the stab in, he's going to turn to take a look. He hasn't got a clue.
He's taking a shine to you, will it?
Now, on his turn, he's going to go in to investigate and trigger combat and all that good stuff. But it's still our turn. And even though the enemy is suspicious, we're able to creep up with a melee attack to finish this guy off before he's able to check it out. Nobody else heard that stab, right? The radius of that stab was very kind of close quarters, obviously. So this is the only guy that knows something's up. And if we just creep on up over to here with our trench knife, get the job done, no one's the wiser. Back to unaware. But our ambush bar has filled up.
It's now or never.
So
It's free.
now we've got our ambush turn. During the ambush turn, your team gains bonus accuracy on their shots, and you only get one ambush turn per mission, so make the most of your advantage while you can, right? It's very important to keep that in mind, that it's a limited resource. But obviously, again, this is a tutorial, so we're going to be forced into triggering an ambush attack, and we can get guns blazing, I suppose. Select our hipfire action over here. Costs only one action point. Use it to rush down your targets and engage them at close ranges. Sounds good. Now here, again, you can toggle the details if you want, but you can see exactly what your hit chances are based off of. That 25% is coming from surprise because this is an ambush turn. That is a huge benefit. Now, obviously, here we're in close range. We've got, decent accuracy on our weapon as well, and we're flanking, so there's all that too. But I'm not going to complain about the extra bonus from the surprise as well. So, fire away, get the job done. Down he goes. Switch to our other friend here.
And we're already painting the fields red.
You bet, buddy. What can we do here? Let's go ahead and creep up to there. And without any targets to fire on, we'll flip on Overwatch. And Overwatch is actually interesting here as well. Now, we're all familiar with how Overwatch works if you're familiar with the genre, right? You pick a cone, and anybody that goes there gets shot at. But things are actually different here, and I'll show you exactly how. So let's go ahead and focus on this door as our as the target of our ire, I suppose. And let's watch how the enemy plays through over here. Gonna go ahead and creep through that door eventually, and when they do so, we get to see exactly why Overwatch is a little different over here. It's a beautiful little quality of life thing, and it's actually a bit of a game changer as well. We can choose whether to actually shoot at somebody who's in the Overwatch cone or just ignore them. So if there's a higher value target that's likely to run through your Overwatch cone, you can actually ignore the earlier targets that are running through it and just hope that that later target comes through. Obviously, it's a bit of a gamble, right? Like, what if that later higher value target doesn't come through your Overwatch cone? Then you've wasted your Overwatch. But if they do, you've played it quite well. So it's an interesting way to change Overwatch. I don't think I've seen it in other turn-based tactics games, at least not anytime recently, and I do quite like it. It adds an extra layer to the tactical layer. But yes, let's shoot this fool on his way out.
Idea, amigo.
Down he goes. But of course, this guy's able to come through scot-free because Overwatch only is one shot.
He's in cover, but I reckon I've got an angle.
So again, obviously, as a turn-based tactics game, cover is a thing. You've got low cover and high cover. Buddy here is in low cover right now, but despite that, we can use our hipfire action to cause morale damage. Chances are we'll miss, right? 56% hit chance. Also, this is a tutorial, but even when you miss, when you fire at somebody, they take morale damage. You can see the purple bar below the red bar. That's an expression of their morale, and if you take it down past that 50% marker, which is the black bar you can see roughly down the middle, that suppresses them. And if you take it all the way down, I forget exactly what the game calls it, but you do even further morale damage, and there are further negative impacts. So we'll see that in action shortly, but let's go ahead and start with the gunfire over here.
I need to reload.
Yeah, we missed, but we suppressed them.
Missed. I spooked him.
Exactly.
My turn.
Now, regardless of whether a shot hits or misses, it deals morale damage to the target. When any unit falls to 50% morale or below, they are suppressed. This means they have half as many action points, and they have reduced accuracy. Plus, when they fire back, they deal less morale damage themselves. So, like, suppression is no joke. It's not like an afterthought. It can actually be extremely valuable, especially because action points are fairly limited to begin with. Having them is a pretty big move. Nonetheless, what to do with Willard here? So I suppose I could aim and shoot. That's what the game wants me to do. So aimed fire is costly in terms of action points, but it's accurate. And you can use it to suppress your targets and pick off enemies at range. Let's go ahead and, again, pop a shot over here. Unlikely to actually get the hit, but if we miss, we'll still break the target by bringing their morale all the way down to 0. So fire away.
Gotta reload.
Completely broken, which means they will skip their next turn. I knew it was something extremely significant, and I was like, I don't want to say it without being 100% certain, which is part of the reason why I'm playing through the tutorial again with you guys. But yes, completely broken, they'll skip their next turn, which is of course a huge advantage in a turn-based tactics game. So again, morale and suppression aren't just like afterthoughts. They can completely change the tone of a battle. So let's go ahead and get into position over here. Pop a shot from this angle, and we should be good. However, first, we do need to reload. At times, we'll have sidearms that we'll want to switch to because it's, I believe it's completely free in terms of action points, whereas reloading your weapon actually costs quite a bit. This is 6 action points to reload our trench gun here, but that's the only option we got right now, so we'll go ahead and reload, and we should be able to switch to hip fire and pop a shot. Now, of course, flanking is also very important in a cover-based game. Units who are not benefiting from cover are considered to be flanked. Cover icons turn red when flanked. When flanking a suppressed or broken unit, shots against them deal critical damage, again showing the importance of damaging enemy morale. And I quite like that. I'm a big fan of morale being the, any of you familiar with the channel will know, I call it the actual health bar of a unit on the battlefield, and I like when games try to represent that. But let's go ahead and hip fire. 83% hit chance. We are flanking, right, so it's going to help our crit chances. This should be good. Fire away. Down he goes.
That's more like it.
Beauty.
Good shot.
Alright, nice and easy. Let's go ahead and creep up to here.
Enemy sighted. Around back.
We got our friend back there as well. So let's go ahead and creep up to there. You can see there's enemy overwatch over here, so the game does clearly indicate when you're going to be in trouble. I think it's our friend back there who's, yeah, overwatching in this general area. We can dance around that, no problem.
Clear that house up, pronto.
He's overwatching the door. I'll find another way in.
And yep, because we're able to see inside, we can see this guy's overwatch as well. We can go ahead and creep through the window. Push on up. And we're able to break doors and break windows and open doors. Nice and easy. Go ahead and crack that open. Again, it does cost some action points. It's not free. So let's go ahead and tuck in right next to the door over here. In we go. Hip fire. Pop those shots. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Now, high cover. Objects at or above head height are high cover, and they reduce chance to hit by 60%, whereas low cover was 30%. So flank the enemy where possible. Again, fairly standard fair stuff that. You should always flank and all that good stuff, but you can see at the same time it does take its unique flair and approach, this game, to some of those familiar concepts, which I absolutely love. But pop the shot over here, should get the job done. Down you go, buddy. And again, even if we missed, we would have caused morale damage, and we've talked about that at length already. But I do believe that's this mission completed.
Clear. Aside from all the bodies, of course.
Then let's move out. We gotta get to that rendezvous.
Indeed. Vincent must be worried sick.
Alright, mission accomplished. So again, that was just a tutorial, so it kept things very simple for us. We didn't take any damage, but things will escalate.
After we escaped the dry gulch in the barn, we had to lie low while Adolf's fan club hunted for us. Tom and I shake off the Germans. We strike out to try and find Vincent and our resistance. Vincent's chute came down somewhere near a German radio station. I think things are about to get hotter. So, we're here on the map. No sign of Tremblay or Belanger. They should have been here by now.
Jockey, this is Rocket. The Krauts have us pinned. We need backup immediately.
They're holed up at a radio station. Looks like we got a rescue on our hands.
So, the strategic map has a lot of interesting things to talk about. I think I'll get into them as they actually become relevant for the playthrough, because there's a lot of moving parts. First of all, let's talk about this one. Select a mission. The map is divided into 10 regions, each with 3 segments. Highlight a region to learn about its ability. A new mission will appear in your current region of Picardy. Select the mission to continue. The briefing indicates the type of mission. Assault missions begin in combat. Ambush missions begin in stealth with an ambush meter. And stealth missions begin in stealth with unlimited stealth kills and no ambush meter. So as I discussed, just a few moments ago, there are a few different kinds of missions. Sometimes you can go through the entire mission without going loud. Sometimes you have the ambush meter we saw just now, and sometimes you start in combat, so stealth isn't even an option. But with that said, let's take a look at our little mission pip over here. There's the explanation. This is a deadly rendezvous. It's an assault type mission, which means it'll start in combat. You have a bit of a brief with regards to what it actually is, what's going on, etc., etc. But before we get into it, I just want to point out something that the previous kind of tooltip or tutorial pointer said. If we hover over these various regions, we can actually see what benefits it might give our resistance movement over here. So of course, you can see that these guys can give resistance strength bonuses, some of them. So for example, up over here, resistance strength +4, but at other times we can see, for example, enemy max morale is reduced by 10%. That's no small benefit, especially when we think about all the benefits of the suppression and all that. Up over here, we've got gain +1 reward from missions. Over here, it's just resistance strength. We've got all sorts of stuff. Extra XP on ambush turns. Morale damage is increased by 1%. So there's quite a lot of stuff that will determine exactly how you want to expand across occupied France, right? So for the time being, obviously, we only have the one option. What I do want to point out, though, because it is relevant, I think, is the victory bar. This is with regards to the strength of your resistance army based on the strength in each region, again, boosted by our acquisition of regions. So again, my understanding here at least is that we try to fill this bar up as much as possible, get it to the end, and, well, hopefully stand a chance on D-Day, because that's what the game is. It's a countdown to D-Day. We can also see the enemy level up over here, which will probably determine exactly how tough they're getting, and apart from that, we are able to adjust our loadouts, we're able to look at our base camp, and there will be factions that we work with. So we'll take a look at the loadout and base camp screens after this next mission, because I do believe the base camp gets unlocked after this mission, and we can talk about both of those at the same time. So with that said, let's dive on into Deadly Rendezvous. First things first, we're able to pick exactly who's going to join us. I'm not sure how many we're going to end up with, but we have at least 4 on the radar. Here we just have 2 available, so let's get both of them picked out. And again, as I said, folks, it's an early access build, so you can expect some, jank here and there. For example, this. Don't mind it. I just want to point out it's an early access build again in case you noticed this, but you forgot what I said at the beginning of the video. With that said as well, you might have noticed the cutscenes are a little stuttery at times. That's only happening today. When I played the game previously, it was all completely smooth, and I'm not sure why it's happening now. I don't know. Maybe it's something in the air. Maybe it's the recording software acting up, but I do apologize about that. With that said, let's take a look at this situation here, right? So Cassidy and King have located Tremblay. However, he's pinned down with your French contact, Belanger. Rally your men and drive the attackers back at all costs. You can see here we have a bunch of primary objectives, no secondary objectives for this mission, but that obviously implies that they will be coming. And separately, we have a reward screen as well. So no rewards for this one, but obviously, again, it implies that some missions will have rewards, and you'll want to pick and choose according to what will help you most. With that said, let's go ahead and help Tremblay and Belanger, shall we? Let's launch this mission. Let's go.
Vincent's pinned down. There's too many. We need backup.
Let's get him out of there.
All right, so this is still a tutorial mission. We're going to be taught, well, a few more interesting mechanics, and just have to follow the prompts here. So let's go ahead and move on up. First things first, skills. Units have powerful skills to aid in battle. Using a skill puts it in cooldown. Means it can't be used. I mean, again, I assume we all know what a cooldown timer is. Rally is the skill we're about to use. It restores the morale of all allied units. Skill is vital for healing suppressed and broken allies. We talked at length about why that might be important. So why don't we go ahead and rally the troops over here, because it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, yes, our two friends over here have quite low morale, almost completely broken, in fact. So let's go ahead and rally. Get the job done here.
Feet, boys. The cavalry's arrived.
I do like that rally is represented like that. Oh, man.
Okay, let's light them up.
Here we go. Grenades. Unprotected units in the blast radius are automatically hit, but units in the larger frag radius are less likely to be hit, but still take full morale damage. That's, again, just a cool implementation of morale. Now, in this particular case, I do believe we're told exactly where to lob the grenade, which unfortunately doesn't impact anybody with morale damage, but I assume like what you would ideally want to do is like pop it up here to cause morale damage. And well, actually, we should be able to kill all four of these guys. Hang on. I'm gonna just ignore what the game's telling me to do because I'm like that. Let's go ahead and pop this over here. I see the risk I'm taking. If I pop it over here, we'll kill both of these guys, 100% hit chance. If I lob it up over here instead, less likely to hit this guy. And not 100% chance to hit these guys either. But hey, what's life without risks? Let's see if the game will let me do this. Nah, it refuses. Alright, fine. Have it your way, game.
Heads up, Krauts.
Go for it. Kill confirmed. Good stuff. Let's go ahead and move up to this position next. Gonna eat up quite a few of our action points. Now we talk about spray zones. I love when turn-based tactics games include this. So each weapon has a cone of fire, which can cause damage to units that are other than your intended target. So it could be friendly fire, it could be other enemy units, and this is like a great spot for us to stand and use our hip fire action to potentially hit both of these guys, right? Because we have a bit of spray as we open fire. So again, just going to toggle details because I like having this available to me to look at, and we're going to fire away. And kill them both. Now again, this is exactly why tutorials are controlled, is to let you know exactly what you can or can't do because it wants to show you something. Had our grenade killed those two, then the game wouldn't have been able to show us that, and that's perfectly acceptable, obviously. That's how tutorials need to be made. Either way, our sidearms. As I was describing earlier, firing a sidearm is often cheaper than reloading your primary weapon. This makes them a good backup option, and a cheaper means of attacking weakened or stationary targets. They're obviously not going to cause as much damage, they have limitations, they're your sidearm, but in a pinch, they'll come in handy. So let's go ahead and swap to our sidearm there. Flip up hip fire action, and when aiming, again, we can choose targets, obviously, and we're going to choose this lovely little barrel here. I want to make sure I'm actually aiming at the barrel. Yep, and fire away.
Bloody good show.
Of course, can't have a British voice in your game without having them at least once say bloody good something, or at least using the word bloody. Anyway, aim fire, open shots over here. It might not get the kill, but will cause some suppression. Go for it. There's our near miss. Caused a bit of morale damage, not enough to actually suppress them though. So they're gonna rush up and open fire, I assume. Ah, Overwatch. Okay. We got another one back here. Sneaky. Down goes our friend. And now we get to talk about how recovering works. So, downed allies. When the health of an allied unit is reduced to 0, they become downed. A downed unit cannot act for 3 turns. After that, they will stand up and rejoin the fight. However, if they get downed again, then they're dead. Like, then they're out. I assume in Iron Man mode, they might actually die, like permadeath. Can't say for sure, don't quote me. But in the mode we're playing right now, without Iron Man turned on at least, they'll be removed from play, and so they'll be back at camp. You need to like heal them and all that good stuff, but you won't have them on the battlefield anymore. Anyway, with that said, let's rush up to here, crack open that window a little bit, and pop some shots. Again, all sidearms are hip-fire weapons. This provides more flexibility to flank with characters whose primary weapon is limited to aimed fire, because aimed fire costs more in terms of action points, whereas hip-fire is very cheap. So sidearms are always a cheaper way to shoot. Let's go ahead and flip to set sidearm, and hip-fire from here. Should be able to get this shot in. Fire away. Good stuff, good stuff. Not a lot of damage, not a lot of HP, right? That was like, what, 2 damage and dude got killed? So, something to keep in mind as well, because that is a crucial element of like how the game is designed, obviously. Let's go ahead and move up to here. Swap to our sidearm and open fire, right? Sidearms disruption. All sidearms have the disruption ability. This means that all shots with your sidearm will cancel the target's overwatch even if you miss. Sounds good. Pop that shot. Get rid of this guy's overwatch. Hurt his morale. Get him suppressed. All good stuff. And now we should be able to push in and take care of our friend here. Move down. And let's try and revive our ally. So again, if a unit takes damage while downed, they retreat from battle. Approach and revive allies to bring them back into the fight immediately. So again, if they're downed, they take damage, they retreat. If you revive them and they get downed again, they retreat. So you have to pick your battles, right? Either way, let's revive our good friend here.
Thanks.
Take care. You cannot afford another wound like that.
And exactly that. When a unit is down, they become wounded. If a wounded unit is down again, they'll retreat, like I just said. And you can see that over here next to their portrait. So our friend here has been wounded. We just have to be extra careful. Now, let's move you back up to here. And hopefully we'll be able to fire. Snipe fire is a shot that reduces enemy cover and boosts your critical hit chances. This skill is great at flushing out well-defended or tough targets. Cool. Let's go ahead and snipe away. Hopefully we'll get the hit. Yes, we will. Beauty.
We're clear! Reinforcements! We're not out of the woods yet! Regroup!
Alright, so the mission will often attract attention of enemy reinforcements, and then there's a timer that'll count down to their arrival, so you'll have time to prepare and position yourself accordingly. Enemies do not attack on the turn that they arrive. Use this to your advantage and destroy the incoming forces. That first turn when the enemies arrive is absolutely crucial. So, looks like they're coming from up over here. Looks like we'll have 2 turns. So let's get ourselves into position. First of all, our friend can move up to this med kit and patch up a little bit to keep him alive. So some items in the world can be collected for beneficial effects. Collecting a med kit immediately restores a portion of the character's health. Go ahead and grab that. We're topped up. Good stuff. Now we got the enemy turn. Alright, we're free to fight. Saving and loading is now enabled. So that's the tutorial done for this aspect of the game. There are other elements that'll still be tutorialized, but that's this part done. These guys are going to be arriving soon. Can I... Trying to figure out if I can get a little bit closer and retain enough action points to Overwatch. That costs 3 action points? Okay. Okay. How much we got? We got 8. If I come up to here, I should have 3 left over. Can't come down here, unfortunately, so sure. Let's come up to here. We got the full cover as well. Gives us enough to keep Overwatch up over here. Because we know exactly where reinforcements are coming from, so we can be prepared. You have, what, 12 action points. Overwatch takes 3, so we can probably creep up to here. Have enough left over, I should say, to get Overwatch going. Or we can come down to here. Might be a smart idea to be a little bit further away, so let's creep on down to here. Pop Overwatch. And keep eyes on the prize there. Obviously, Overwatch has limited range based on the weapon that you're using, so that's something to keep in mind. Let's make sure we're actually able to look through this window and get Overwatch set up over here as well. Just unleash hell on these fools as they walk through. Again, cover is blocking some of our shots, which is unfortunate. Can I come through the window and still have enough left over for Overwatch? Yes. 4 action points. Overwatch will still cost 3 over here, so let's creep up to here, get into the half cover, and pop Overwatch to guarantee some kills over here, right? As many as possible. Overwatch up in this general direction. And finally, our sniper here. You should be able to Overwatch. Yeah, that looks good to me. Go for it. Enemy reinforcements have arrived, and we are now able to attack. I'm not going to ignore with anyone. It looks like we are evenly matched. It's 4 against 4, so fire away. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's cool. So we killed the guy back there, but the guy up front, while we missed him, we did actually cause enough morale damage to get him suppressed. So again, he's going to have, what, half his action points, and his accuracy is going to drop. Cool. Crown King, go ahead and fire away. Oh, killed them both. Good stuff. Wait.
They're not letting up. We gotta get out of here.
Did we kill all 3 of them? We killed all 3 of them, I think. We can cycle through enemies on the map, use this to evaluate position of remaining threats. Sounds good.
Destroy the radio tower. It might buy us enough time to escape.
I've only been in the country for an hour, and you're already speaking my language.
Sounds like a good plan. So demolitions. Interact with a demolition point to plant an explosive charge. Make sure you clear the blast zone before it goes off. Your mission objectives are marked with an icon denoting their importance. Complete all primary objectives in order to complete the mission. That goes, I think, without saying. And then we have exfiltration. So once we deal with our primary objectives, we all have to make it to the exfiltration zone, and then we can actually get out of here. Man, last turn was really cool. We killed 3 of them. Did we kill 3 of them or 4 of them with 1 shot? Again, the spray of a weapon can be a game changer. And I want to be clear, that part wasn't scripted. The last time I did this mission, like when I was going through the tutorials previously, that did not happen. So that quite genuinely took me by surprise there. I didn't realize that would work, but that's awesome. So again, positioning is so important, and preparation is so important. But anyway, let's stay focused here. Keep our eyes on the prize. We've got reinforcements coming in from up there. We have to come through, open the door, and make our way up there. Let's creep up to here and open the door first. See how far we can actually get this turn. 6 action points remaining. Yeah, we should be able to place the demo charge right now and make our way out, because all we have to do is demolish the radio tower, and to do that we have to plant the charge. Enemy reinforcements have been defeated. I think it was just talking about that first round of reinforcements that was coming. So let's go ahead and plant the charge over here.
Get moving. She's gonna blow.
And I wonder if I should prepare Overwatch zones. Again, that's just explaining extraction after your primary objectives are completed. Like, I don't know how many people are going to show up. The ones that do show up, I don't know how much damage they'll be able to cause over here. Do I slow them down by firing at them, or do I just kind of try and get the hell out of here? I don't know how long the demo charge is going to take before it goes off. I'm hoping not anytime soon. But you know what? Let's get out of here. Let's just make our way out of here. Rush over. Send you over as well, because it will take us some time, right? Some of these guys are pretty far afield, so take us some time. Let's get you even further along. And our good friend here, let's get you up to here. Let's go. So leaving Buddy a little exposed, but I think he'll be okay, because again, when reinforcements arrive, they can't actually attack in that turn, right? So they'll come through, but they can't do anything. And it's only 2 of them, apparently, so I think we'll be okay. As long as we can fall back far enough, I think we'll be okay. How far can you go, buddy? Oh, quite far. Quite far. All right, let's get you all the way back to here and in cover. And when we reach the exfil zone, people don't just disappear. They'll actually stay on the map until everybody's in this zone. So let's pull you back over here. I don't think we have to trigger Overwatch or anything like that. You can come up to here, sure. And you. Unfortunately, we can't give multiple move orders at the same time. That's one thing I wouldn't mind seeing changed. It's always nice when you can hurry along with giving orders when you kind of like know exactly what orders you're going to give. There's minimal thinking involved right now. Like, just let me give the orders, you know, hurry things along. No need for Overwatch. Not everybody can do Overwatch. Is that 1 turn until the explosion goes off? Because I'm glad we're out of the blast radius then. Maybe these guys will come through. But that's our turn. Let's end the turn prematurely. There's action points left over, but we have no use for them. So end the turn. See what the AI does here. Dang. Why don't you go and try and disarm the bomb? Why don't you stay inside the blast radius? Oh! He's actually able to shoot? Wasn't expecting that. But we're good. Took a bit of morale damage there, it looks like. Let's go ahead and tuck you in, buddy. And again, over here, we have to concern ourselves with the door, right? So I should hopefully, not now, be able to crack the door open. Come on. Come on. There we go. Hold to open. And I should hopefully be able to get out of here. Yeah, away we go. Good stuff. And our turn to extract. We're good to go.
She's coming down, fellas!
Welcome to France, my friends.
I think I'm going to like it here.
An invasion is coming to free Europe from the Nazis. We're here to prepare the ground for D-Day. Our mission is to help the French resistance, to sabotage the Germans and build a secret army of patriots. We will form partisan groups behind enemy lines to tie up the Nazi war machine. When D-Day comes, they'll give our boys a chance to get ashore. That is our goal. Build a strong enough resistance to make this invasion possible. The clock is ticking. This is Willard Cassidy, out. We just got word of a couple of candidates for our team. There's an Australian guy who has parachuted in and needs a hand. We have a Moroccan Goumier who's desperate to fight with us. So, who gets the ticket for the Jedburgh Express, non-stop to Berlin?
Now we are all safe, we should check our equipment. Replacements are hard to find. Make sure you have everything you need.
Alright, this is interesting. And this is exactly why I like to, at times at least, check stuff out and then go back in to play and record a session. The last time I was playing this, first things first, I want to let you know, this is as far as I got. I didn't engage with these missions because the game opened up, and I was like, alright, we'll do that together. All it means is that factions will have to be described at a later point in time because that's still locked, and I thought that was fine. But what's interesting to me is that the last time I was playing, these missions did not come at these locations. I remember specifically that the Moroccan was over here, or I think over here. He was in one of these two regions. But I remember the Moroccan was in this general area, and our Australian friend, I believe he is, Ollie? Yeah, okay, if I recall correctly, he's definitely Australian. He was located somewhere down over here, so that's interesting because you have to consider how long it takes to get to a location, the fact that you're kind of securing different regions based on your run that opens things up to multiple playthroughs and stuff. So I just want to point that out because it's obviously not going to be evident just watching it without it being pointed out. That's cool. That's cool. Anyway, let's take a look at our base camp and take a look at some of these strategic layer mechanics over here. So, at our base camp, we can spend some time bonding. So, we can listen to characters talk, which recovers fatigue and boosts their max morale. Select a character to open their loadout, where you can modify their weapons, their skills, and their appearance. Now, why don't we go ahead and take a listen over here first and just boost morale and all that good stuff. Heal fatigue as well.
Say, Charles, have you ever played shotgun bike?
No. What is that?
Bit of fun from the training course. First, you disassemble the shotgun, then I pick up the parts and reassemble it. Meanwhile, you have to put the chain back on a bicycle and make a getaway before I shoot you. It all hinges on how far you can ride before I pull the trigger.
But why?
Think of it as good training and bicycle maintenance.
Also, fun fact, that is a different conversation from the last time I was playing this, so cool. I was wondering about that and multiple playthroughs, so it's neat to see that they've, I guess, thought of it. Good stuff, good stuff. Alright, we can also go ahead and take a look at customization over here. We don't have that many options, but eventually we will be able to customize, appearance as well. They are limited in some interesting ways. You can only equip clothing that aligns with the character's nationality. Clothes often grant one or more beneficial effect, and more can be unlocked through mission rewards and the faction liaison. So these aren't just cosmetic. They have actual impact to your gameplay, but you are, yes, limited based on your character's nationality. I suppose people are extremely patriotic and they refuse to put on clothes of a different country, even if it means getting some additional benefits. Nonetheless, there are a couple of options. You got your head, your chest, and your legs, so you can swap around as you desire. These are all basic. I believe they don't have any benefits or anything to them, so we're just going to keep things as they are for the time being. But eventually, we can obviously investigate some of our options over here. We can, I believe, also change our code name. So, if you wanted to personalize these guys and name them after your friends, you can change their code names and try and keep them alive or send them to their death, however it is you like to treat your friends, I suppose. Of course, we're able to do this for all of our friends here. And otherwise, we can also take a look at their equipment. Right now, we don't have too many options, but you can, yes, compare and equip different weaponry. Each character class, as indicated up over here, Tom Crown King is support, but each class has specific weapon types which only they can equip. And of course, you can unlock new and better weapons through mission rewards and faction liaisons. Fair enough. Again, you can see the kind of stats that are tracked over here: ammo, reload, action point cost, how accurate the weapon is, morale damage it causes, and the average damage that this weapon deals per hit. Combination of damage, critical damage, and critical chance, which is why it's an average as opposed to a straight number. We only have hip fire with the trench gun, but some of the other guns might have, some more options. And my goodness, the trench gun did a lot of work there. Show details. Oh, I see. So this breaks down damage output if you want to actually see where that average is coming from. So when we do a crit with the trench gun, plus 2 damage, there's a 10% chance of actually doing critical damage. Effective range is also pointed out. The maximum distance from the target before accuracy begins to decrease. And if we take a look at maybe some of our other friends, we can take a look at some other weapons. Can I back out from there? Take a look at... Sure, Belanger, he's got his Enfield number 4. It's got its aimed fire, nothing else. If we take a look at Tremblay, he's got the Thompson. Why don't we take a look at that real quick? Damage 3, but a really high crit chance, which might take damage up to 5. And I believe that's higher morale damage than some of the other weapons we're looking at as well. We've also got spray accuracy, the percentage chance that a shot will deal damage to units in the spray zone. Cool, right, because of course it's the Thompson, it's a submachine gun, so there's a chance of spray fire, much like the shotgun, or the trench gun, I guess it is a shotgun, has some spray fire as well, but Belanger, with his bolt-action rifle, will not be able to spray. Makes sense. I just wanted to point out that the game is, in fact, built that way. Of course, we can take a look at their secondary weapons as well. We've got the M1911, we've got the Webley, and there are your comparisons right there. Bit more damage, worse crit? Why is that in red, but also a +1? See, I understand why this is a red and a 10%. Oh, I see. Okay. It's red because it goes down to +1. It doesn't add 1. That's me. Read that wrong. Morale damage goes down, effective range is slightly higher. Okay, cool. Now we'll stick with what we've got right now. We've got our melee options as well. I believe everyone has a trench knife across the board, yeah. And if we take a look at our grenades, we've got Mark II grenades, we've got satchel charges, and we have sticky bombs. So that's interesting. 5 damage, 21 morale damage. So there's the blast radius, and then there's the actual frag radius as well. Because again, there's the closer blast radius where it does a ton of damage and morale damage, and then there's the extended range where it does reduced damage and it still does morale damage. We've got the Mark II grenade, we've got a satchel charge, which does more damage, more morale damage, greater radius, but a much shorter throw range. And then we have the sticky bomb, more damage, less morale damage, and the radius of the explosion is a little bit less, and the throw range is smaller too. Doesn't look like any of these are limited though. Doesn't look like you can, you run out. In fact, it quite literally says we have an infinite number of all 3 of these, which further implies that you will have a limited number of other things. So why don't we go ahead and everyone's carrying grenades? Why don't we get someone with a satchel charge here? King, sure. Let's pop that satchel charge on you, equip that, and everyone else can stay as they are. I hope I haven't made a horrible mistake. But let's back out of that, and next take a look at what? Skills, I suppose. Of course, you can see at the top right corner over here, we have levels and XP, so you'll be able to get more skills as you move along. We're looking at Cassidy right now. He's a medic. All allies in range 1.5 recover 50% health when we use that skill. Gambler's Fortune is a passive. The unique skill, Tom is immune to critical hits even when vulnerable. King has what? King? Okay, sorry. That was King. For some reason, I thought Cassidy was highlighted. But Cassidy has Rally, which you've seen in action already, and Unwavering Conviction, a passive, which means that Willard recovers 30% morale after using an active skill. Good stuff. Belanger, you're our sniper. Shoot your... This is, again, an active skill. Shoot your primary weapon with critical chance plus 40%, and the target's cover bonus is reduced by 30%. Fair enough. And then Precision, unique skill when shooting. Charles cannot deal damage or morale damage to an ally. Ah, good stuff. So you can, in fact, fire over your friends' heads and stuff. Tremblay, meanwhile, has Distraction. Throw a pebble at target space. Unalerted enemies within range 5 will turn to face it. Okay, gotcha. I thought Distraction might also help with removing Overwatch and stuff like that, but no, it's just for getting people to look elsewhere. Then we have Indomitable as the passive skill here. Vincent cannot go below 1 morale. He will never be broken. Damn, dude. All right, fair enough. But yes, we are able to customize these skills, and this works based off of a skill grid. If you've played Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate Demon Hunters, you'll recognize this. I'm sure there are other games that are just not coming to mind right now, but it's kind of similar in some ways. Either way, each time a character levels up, they gain a skill point, which can be spent to learn new skills. Active skills give characters new actions to perform, while passive are automatic bonuses. You may learn adjacent skills to skills you've already learned. So, because we have distraction, we can move towards dodge, for example. Once we get dodge, we'll unlock 1, 2, 3 skills, so on and so forth. But as you can see, like, you have to figure out exactly what you want to be, and depending on what you want to be, you'll kind of earn a title as a blade master, a spotter, a Tommy gunner, or a survivalist. So you can imagine how, for example, as a Tommy gunner, you have things like room clearance at level 2, where the submachine gun critical chance is increased by 20%, and subsequent SMG shots in the same turn gain an additional 20%. So you can, again, I think it's pretty clear what the idea here is. I'm not going to go through hovering over every single skill for every single, class of character, but obviously each of the classes have their own breakdowns. Medic, corpsman, shotgunner, and tinkerer. Corpsman? Yeah, saying corpsman for somebody who could also be a medic sounds kind of wild, but Belanger over here, as our marksman, can specialize as a sniper, a defender, a veteran, or a huntsman. And then Tremblay as our scout, as Blade Master Spotter, Tommy Gunner Survivalist, and Cassidy as our leader has commander, hero, officer, and tactician. But what none of them have is enough skill points to actually get an upgrade, so let's not spend any more time over here. Let's instead turn our attention to the map once more. And having geared up and had that conversation, we've completed a couple of objectives, and we can complete these 2 missions next. First of all, let's go chasing after our Moroccan friend. I have a personal attachment to Morocco, of course. I lived there for 3 years of my life, so at the moment he came up, I was like, I know where I'm going next. This is an ambush-style mission, whereas the one saving our Australian friend is an assault-style mission. We've seen that just recently. Let's take a look at how ambush plays out when we are fully in control as opposed to a tutorial. My assumption is that it'll take 2 days for us to get there and execute the mission, taking us closer to D-Day. And my assumption is also that when it's D-Day, we need to have this bar filled up as much as possible to ensure success. Now, what do we have over here? Anything else to pay attention to? We have the difficulty level, and I'm not sure what that +9 is about. This one's plus... Oh, I see. This has to do with our intel, I assume, or our resistance levels, it looks like. Fair enough. Otherwise, what do we got? Intel, recruitment, retrieval, wire, urban. Those words mean nothing to me. We have our objectives, primary and secondary, telling us exactly how much XP we'll earn from accomplishing them, and we have our rewards. But why don't we go ahead and take a look at mission briefing, where we can see some more details. Well, first things first, let's go ahead and make sure our party is topped up, get everybody in there, and yes, let's take a look here. So, recruit heavy. Rendezvous with a Moroccan French maquisard named Sami Alami. He's tipped us off about a supply of detonators being held at a rail yard. The equipment will be useful in the days ahead. Again, it says intel, recruitment, retrieval, wire, urban. Not sure exactly what that means, but hopefully as we dive into the mission, it'll be further explained, or maybe as we complete the mission, we'll go back into tutorial mode and explanation will be forthcoming. We got a couple of primary objectives, extract with Alami and steal the detonators, and we got some secondary objectives as well. Steal a detonator without being detected. Again, we start in ambush mode, right? So we should be sneaking around to begin with. And then separately, we can suppress or break enemies with Alami. All right, so just focus on morale damage output. Again, it looks like quite a bit of XP, so we'll see just how valuable that actually is when we see the rewards coming through. On the topic of which, let's take a look at the rewards over here. We've got the STG-44, some French trousers, and a British side cap. Sounds good to me. We can't see their actual, statistical effects, if there are any, just quite yet, but, oh, yes we can. All I had to do is click. So, there's the STG-44, but what about the pants and the side cap? There you go. So, maximum morale and morale resistance. As you can see, there are actual impacts to clothes, as we were talking about just moments ago. So, I'm very curious to see how far that gets pushed in terms of anything beyond, armor or HP, like, for example, morale, or whatever else it might be, action points. Very curious, very curious. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive on in, shall we? Let's begin.
Impressive that the Gummier broke in. Are we sure he needs our help with these detonators?
Alright, let's take a look at the situation over here. So, That is... Oh, is that our contact right there? Okay, that's going to be the easier part of this mission then, I suppose. So we'll get in there, speak to our chap here, and then we gotta sneak through to pick up the detonators up over here. Is that all 3 of them, or is that just 1? Ah, no, there we go. So 1, 2, and 3. And then the exfil zone is up over here. That's all we really need to do. Secondary objectives involve stealing a detonator without being detected, which hopefully we are able to pull off. Looks like there's somebody here, but this one's very close. And separately, we can try and suppress or break an enemy with a Lamy. We'll see how that plays out. Alright, what do we got over here? We've got you with your M1 carbine, we got you with your trench gun, we've got you with your Enfield, and we've got you with your Thompson. Alright, fair enough. This got, that's hip fire if I recall correctly. Yep, that's hip fire. Just trying to familiarize myself with all the icons. You've got your snipe over here, and you've got your aimed fire over here. Over here we got hip fire, and over here we have the aimed fire. Okay, cool, fair enough. Good blend of the lot. Let's go ahead and make contact with our contact. What do you got for me, buddy?
You are late. Now stay quiet. There are patrols nearby. I will shut off the electric fence. Then you can cut through.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So, switch on over to you, and I believe that's the generator. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Stay low, and he's got a Bren. Nice. Alright. Power is cut, and what do we have? Who is looking up over here? I guess buddy over there is able to see this general area. These guys are over there. That's a lot of coverage, unfortunately. I'm curious if any of these guys are, going to move, if they're going to patrol. I see an arrow over here. I don't recall that from the tutorial, so that tells me that this guy's probably going to go in that direction. Just, we've learned their patrol routes and stuff, which is kind of cool. That makes sense. It's like, yeah, we know where they're going to go. We don't have to memorize it as players. The game will tell us. But does that mean these guys are staying inside or staying where they're at right now? And if so, how do I get past all that? I mean, there's a blind spot over here. We might be able to come around. No, this is the edge of the map. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and cut through, right? Hold to cut. 4 action points. That's quite expensive. And that'll be our entire turn over here. So hopefully none of these guys will turn around and decide to look this way. Go ahead and cut. There we go. Buddy, you can come through. Yeah, let's get you up to here. It's exceptionally nerve-wracking because it's not very dark. It's not very dark, so I feel like they should be able to see me at this distance. But we're okay over there. Let's get you moving up to the wall over here. I feel like that's a safe spot to be in. And again, we can only really take out 3 people before we trigger our ambush turn, right? And go hot. At which point we won't be able to steal the detonators without being detected. Why hasn't that box checked yet? We've shut it down. Yeah. Makes me nervous, but we're good. We're fine. Let's, what do we get you up to, buddy? Up to here? Yeah, I may as well. I mean, sure, our cover is useless, but that's fine. We don't care about cover right now because we shouldn't be getting into combat. Let's get you all the way up to here, just so we're making some movement. Alright, he's going to pull back that way, so I'm glad I came up. Hypothetically, I should be able to poke my head out. 1 whole action point worth of movement could make or break our, situation right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take the chance, take a step out, and hope to God that that guy doesn't turn around to look this way. These guys are all done their turn. I wish I could see what this guy was going to get up to, but no such luck. Alright, that's our turn. We really have to just cross our fingers and hope that nothing goes sideways over here. See what happens. So, the arrows, as predicted, tell us exactly where our enemies are going to go. Don't you dare turn around. Okay, oh boy, my heart for a second there. We're good, we're good. Where are you going, buddy? So he's coming this way. This guy's going that way. Fair enough. Got some options here. Alright. Looks like this guy's patrol is pretty simple. Back and forth. Easy enough to work around. I wish I'd memorized what he can and cannot see. Because I'm about to take a serious risk over here. Can I actually? Well, I suppose I could smash this window, get inside, pop out this way and take care of this guy, right? Because there's a door there as well. Alright, I think that's worth a shot. 4 action points, 2 action points, leaving us with 6 left over. Oh, jeez. Because if we take this guy out, then we should be able to sneak up on this guy from back there. Because these guys, they don't seem to look in this general direction. This guy is looking like he's going to come around this way, which is obviously a little troubling. I cannot take all 3 of these guys out and then also take somebody out over here without triggering the ambush. So, alright, fine. Let's go ahead and get you through this window. Go, go, go. Nice and quiet. And let's push through this door as well. Quickly now, quickly now.
What is in here?
Don't care what's in there. Don't care what's out there. Unfortunately, I can't see. We've run out of action points. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I wonder if I pull everybody over in this general direction. Alright, let's get you up to here, buddy. Because we know that we can hide in that little corner there, right? Like, these 2 spots were pretty safe. I'm fairly certain the edge of the car was safe as well. My concern is this guy's going to come around and then see us over here, which is why I want to kind of move, just in general. I suppose I could come all the way here to get rid of this guy. That solves a variable, right? Someone who's patrolling. But I worry if he comes down this way, if he'll be able to spot us over there. Which seems likely. If he comes down this way, I might be able to, depending on where he ends up, I might be able to stab him, right, somewhere over here, because we can get quite far. So maybe we should let that kind of play out, but over here, maybe these guys should keep moving up this way. For the life of me, I can't remember if we can hide behind the car, but I assume yes. This is going to be, we can't hide there, almost certainly. Is there another way in here? Oh, you know what? Okay. 10 plus 1 is 11. That'll leave us with 1 action point to get in here with. But will you turn around and see me? I think it's quite likely. But I should be able to come up to, like, here. I just don't know if that guy's going to turn around to look up this way. And even if he does, I think we'll be okay. You know what? I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to take the chance. You, my good friend. Let's get you... Jeez. Let's get you up to here. Stay low.
There's a buck in my sights. Fresh quarry.
Right? He's going to turn around, but I don't know by how much. There are so many enemies here. Heavies can't be stealth killed. Okay, deals high morale damage. Can sustain Overwatch. Gotcha. Alright. Yeah, like how much are you going to rotate? A little bit? A lot of it? Are you going to see me? I don't know. Do I creep up to there? Right? Because I know these guys aren't turning around. He's going down this way. And if he's going to turn around enough to see me here, like he might not turn around enough to see me up there. So... Jeez. Funnily enough, what I need to do is I need to kill this guy. But I can't tell if this guy is able to see up there or not. Like, where does his vision cone end? And will he see the kill happen? Or will he just get suspicious and still give me enough time to pick up a detonator up there? Alright, this has become a lot more complicated now that we've seen this. Alright. Let's get up to over here. Hope to God that no one spots us. Down over here. Get behind the car. Keep moving up this way. He's going to drop this guy. I could... You know what? Can't believe I'm going to do this. Okay, I think I know what we have to do.
Yes, moving.
So, no, that was a... This is why turn-based tactics games nowadays need undo buttons. Maybe I'm just getting old. But that was a misclick, but I had my mouse on him. It should have selected him, so I don't know if I can even take the blame there. Again, early access build, you know, there will be some issues here and there. But even in early access, that's a frustrating one to have. And now we're screwed. We were in a perfect spot to actually stab this guy, and then send this guy up to stab that guy, and not get seen. That's not the case anymore. So, I'm going to take a massive risk. I'm going to send our friend... Oh, gee. I'm going to send our friend here up to here. And our friend here is going to stay put, because he's still perfectly positioned to get up there and stab. So if we can stab this guy and this guy, then he should be able to get up somewhere over here as this guy's going down that way, and we should be fine. Whereas up over here, I mean, God only knows. Only to find out, I suppose, right? So you're staying put, buddy. Ready to end the turn? Yeah, ready to end the turn. Let's see how this plays out. Just turn that guy around. Just turn that guy around. I want to see what happens there. Yeah, this guy's coming down this way. Doesn't see anything. Good. They put. My heart right now is beating through my chest. Where does this guy turn? Oh my god, come on. Don't do me like this game. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Alright, that could have gone horribly wrong. And up over here, we're fine. Could have hid behind the car as well, but that's okay. We're not taking that route. What's the deal up over here? We good? Holy crap. We're good. Okay, this is nerve-wracking, but I think we've got this now, right? As long as I don't misclick, this guy can stab this guy. Our friend here can stab that guy. And our friend here should be able to make it all the way up to detonators. That would give us this secondary objective. And then honestly, at that point, Alami can go ahead and start suppressing fire and stuff. We can get the other secondary objective. We can go guns blazing as we try and steal the other two. Alternatively, we try and steal all three of them stealthily. And then go guns blazing. Just so we can get that secondary objective and the extra XP before we, of course, get to the exfil zone up over here. Now, my assumption is that there are more enemies patrolling the fog of war over here, as was revealed down over here. But, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, or, as I sometimes like to say, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. But I think that's a sound plan, folks, and I think what we're going to do is try and execute on it next time. We're at that hour mark. This is a fun cliffhanger to end it on, and I know at the beginning of this episode I said I think I'll leave this as one session, and you know, depending on you guys and your likes and comments, I'll maybe extend it a little bit. But I'm having a lot of fun with this, and now that the shackles are off, so to speak, and we're able to do things entirely on our own, at least with the tactical battles, it's getting quite tense, and I think I'd like to play a little bit more on the channel. If you are interested in seeing more, let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below, because it does give me a good indication of, you know, if I should pursue even more episodes. But I definitely want to play at least a little bit more of this wonderful game. So expect maybe a mini-series, just a handful of episodes to explore it further. But of course, I will be looking at the comments to see your opinions, your thoughts, and your feelings to further influence, as always, what you see on the channel. Hope you don't mind the cliffhanger here, but I like to keep these at about an hour long, and this is clearly going to be an extremely long mission, and I think it deserves proper thought and consideration, because I want to try and pull this off in full. Get all those secondary objectives and those primary objectives. Folks, again, if you had a good time, don't hesitate to let me know down below. But as always, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time. Cheers.